La doctora Hoffman ha confirmado sus sospechas sobre Barnabás y pone en marcha un nuevo plan. En la última conversación que sostuvieron, le informó deliberadamente que ella había descubierto cosas nuevas sobre Barnabás Collins. El original, por supuesto. En visible estado de alerta, a Barnabás no le queda más opción que hacer algo al respecto. El vampiro ha mordido el anzuelo. Temiendo que Julia sepa demasiado, se aparece en su habitación con la intención de acabar con su existencia. Solo que ella lo está esperando.
Good evening, Barnabas Collins. I've been waiting for you for a long time. A very long time.
Have you?
Yes,
Why?
because I know what you are.
What do you mean you know what I am?
You are Barnabas Collins. The only Barnabas Collins, who died over 130 years ago.
That's an absurd statement.
Don't try to deny it. I've investigated you thoroughly, and I've seen you in your coffin yesterday at dawn.
You realize that such knowledge puts you in great danger.
Well, of course, that's why I took the precaution of putting a dummy in the bed.
But you didn't take the precaution of getting as far away from here as possible.
No, because what I need is here.
What is it you want?
You.
I don't know what you mean, but it doesn't matter.
Barnabás está decidido a matarla, pero en un inesperado giro de la trama, ella le confiesa que en realidad es doctora y que desea ayudarlo. Él se desconcierta y cree que ella solo está tratando de salvarse a sí misma. Pero Julia le asegura que en verdad tiene algo valioso que ofrecer, y no solo para él, sino para ambos.
There is no other way of life for me.
There is.
It isn't possible.
It wasn't possible 130 odd years ago, but it is possible now.
How can you be so certain?
Because I've spent my lifetime studying conditions such as yours.
How could you have done this? Have there been others like myself?
No, you're the only one I've encountered. That's why you're so important to me. That's why I need you.
Need me?
From the time I entered medical school, I've been fascinated by the relationship of life to death. I believe that one is a continuance of the other, and that someday they will merge and that life will not terminate. That day is close at hand now that I found you.
You assume too much. You assume that I'm interested in your theory.
You can't help but be interested in my theory. You're the only link I know of that can span the two worlds, from dead to living. Oh, my research has been very long and fruitless up till now. Your conditions seem to exist only in legend and story. I had no hope of finding someone like you.
What is this theory of yours?
Julia le explica que la sangre que él posee es insuficiente para mantenerlo. Es por ello que constantemente debe reponerla. La causa de todo el problema es la naturaleza destructiva de sus células sanguíneas. Hay un desequilibrio que hace que se destruyan más células de las que son reemplazadas, por lo que ella intentará alterar la estructura celular de su sangre mediante la introducción de un nuevo plasma en su sistema arterial.
You begin to intrigue me. Dr. Hoffman. You begin to intrigue me very much.
Barnabás lleva a Julia a la casa vieja para poder hablar más claramente sobre el tema, sin que nadie los escuche o interrumpa. Pero antes, él desea saber cuántas personas más están involucradas en el caso.
Mrs. Stoddard, the Collins family, Miss Winters. Do they know who you are? What you're seeking?
No, they only know me as Miss Hoffman, an historian who asks too many questions.
Does anyone else know?
Yes.
Who?
Oh, does it matter?
Of course it does.
Oh, but I don't see
If
why...
we're to succeed, a mutual trust must exist between us. Because if for a moment I thought I couldn't trust you...
You would kill me.
Yes. Who else knows?
Dr. Woodard?
Woodard, of course. How much does he actually know?
Oh, I've kept him in the dark, told him nothing. He wouldn't believe it anyway. Now, you've got to trust that no one else knows about you.
Willie entra al salón y Barnabás lo pone al tanto de que Julia Hoffman es en realidad una doctora, que sabe todo sobre su condición vampírica y que se ha ofrecido para curarlo, razón por la cual pasará más tiempo allí, en la casa vieja.
Dr. Hoffman will need a room to serve as a laboratory. There are several downstairs that she could choose from. Take her down there and let her select one.
Oh, we can do that tomorrow.
I'd prefer you to do it now. The sooner you're able to begin, the sooner we'll know whether you're able to fulfill your theories.
Después de una ausencia en la novela original de más de 20 episodios, reaparecen los actores que interpretan a Joe Haskell y Sam Evans. Ambos han ido al hospital de Collinsport, decididos a hablar con el Dr. Goddard en busca de respuestas.
Dave?
Sam, Joe, what are you doing in the hospital so late?
Well, we've been tracking you down. I had to see you.
Well, what about?
We'd like to have the answers to some questions.
Oh, come on now, you two. I've just finished delivering a set of twins. I'm bushed. It's been a long, long night. Can't wait till tomorrow night?
No.
Tomorrow morning?
No, it can't, because I can't sleep.
Well, what do you want to know?
The lowdown on Dr. Hoffman.
I've already told you everything I know about Dr. Hoffman.
No, you haven't. There's something fishy going on about her, and I want to know what it is.
Shh, now, come on, Sam. Come on down here. We have to be careful that we're not overheard. Now, what are you talking about?
Los dos hombres se han enterado que la doctora Hoffman está viviendo en Collinwood, haciéndose pasar por una especie de historiadora que escribe un libro sobre la familia Collins. Nadie parece saber quién es en realidad, y ellos exigen saber los motivos.
Sam, Dr. Hoffman has her own methods of work. I have nothing to do with that.
But why all the concentration on the Collins family? What good is it going to do Maggie?
Es muy poco lo que Goddard les puede decir al respecto, ya que su colega tampoco ha sido muy comunicativa en eso. Lo único claro es que está tratando de averiguar qué fue lo que afectó la mente de Maggie, y para eso hay que explorar todas las posibilidades.
False identity. Why can't she come right out and say she's a doctor and ask whatever questions she wants to ask?
She feels that it's necessary for her identity to be kept a secret.
No. But
Look, I'm willing to buy anything that will help Maggie. But is Dr. Hoffman making any progress?
Well, her reports haven't been too encouraging so far.
Goddard les comenta que él también ha estado presionando a Julia e incluso ha amenazado con llevarse a Maggie de la clínica. Y si no lo ha hecho, es porque no puede descartar la idea de que ella esté detrás de algo valioso. Así que necesitan darle tiempo.
Look, Dave, I just don't know how long I can go on pretending that Maggie's dead. I don't know if I can take much more of it.
I know how rough it is on you, and I know it's rough on you, Joe, but there's nothing else that I can recommend.
All we want is a little bit of honesty, Doctor. We just like to know what all these maneuvers mean.
Well, can't you tell Dr. Hoffman to level with us? Is that asking too much?
I can't tell her anything, Sam. I can ask her to explain, but I know she won't.
I've had too many secrets in my life. Now, you just tell that Dr. Hoffman that she better give me some explanation for her activities or I'm going to bust this thing wide open.
Joe, don't you let him do that.
I don't think I could stop him. You see, I feel the same way he does.
Mientras Julia está en el sótano eligiendo una habitación para usar como laboratorio, un nervioso Willie regresa para hablar con Barnabás.
Well, can you trust her?
I'm not sure.
But if you're not sure, how can you let her go out of here?
I didn't say I'd let her out.
Well, then what are you going to do?
I'm going to kill her.
Julia ha hecho su tarea más fácil al estar en la casa vieja, donde Barnabás puede deshacerse de su cuerpo, pero Willie se pregunta si realmente podría ser capaz de curarlo e insta al vampiro a darle una oportunidad.
She told me what she was going to do. The kind of experiment she was going to make. Well, what about that, Barnabas? Can she really cure you?
I don't really know.
It would be good if she could.
Would it, Willie? Would it really?
Well, sure, it would mean we wouldn't have to do the things we've been doing.
You think things will change for you?
Some things, yeah. It would mean that I could live without the feeling of something terrible happening any minute.
If you think you'll be free of me, you're wrong. Because you will be with me for the rest of your days.
I know that.
What she has to offer me is very enticing to me. But it may be my downfall. She was clever enough to discover my identity. Clever enough to trick me into walking into a room which might well have been a trap.
But it wasn't.
I know. That's what bothers me. That's the contradiction. Then her theory about changing the structure of my blood. It's simple, logical. Too simple, perhaps. Somehow I feel I'll never really be able to trust her entirely.
Well, why not give her a chance?
Because that chance may be my last mistake. I can't risk everything. My existence may not have been what it should be, but at least I have permanence. No, I cannot trust Dr. Hoffman. I cannot take a chance. I will do away with her. Now.
En ese momento, Julia regresa con una lista de suministros para que Willie los adquiera en una tienda de productos químicos en la ciudad de Bangor.
Willie, you have an errand to do. You can do that tomorrow morning.
Sure?
The room will have to be cleaned and scrubbed.
Do you hear that, Willie? You might as well go down and begin now.
You want me to begin?
That's what I said.
Okay.
He looked at me in a very strange way.
Willie's a very strange young man.
Julia se despide, en vista de que pasarán algunos días antes de que pueda comenzar con el primero de sus experimentos.
Where are you going?
Back to Collinwood.
I think not.
But I can't stay away from there all night. They'll miss me. They'll wonder where I am.
Yes, they will miss you, and they'll wonder where you are. But I'm afraid that can't be helped.
Well, how will you explain my being here?
I won't have to explain it. No one will know.
What do you mean?
I've reevaluated our relationship, and I have come to the conclusion that it is not possible to trust you.
Look how very wrong you are. I'm the one person in the world that you can trust.
I believe you to be a threat to me, and therefore I cannot permit you to continue your existence.
Pero Julia aún tiene un as bajo la manga.
If I die, you'll be named. And everything you've done will be told. They'll know what you are.
Who will tell this?
To kill me is to find out.
You're bluffing.
Try me and see.
Who is it?
Maggie Evans.
Maggie Evans is dead.
Is she?
She's alive.
And well hidden.
What has she said?
Nothing specific as yet. I traced you through my own deductions. At present, she's suffering from traumatic amnesia. But eventually, she will recover, and then she'll tell everything she knows.
But she'll do that whether you're alive or dead.
And she won't. Because if I'm alive, I will be in charge of her treatment. And I can see to it that her amnesia remains permanent. My life guarantees your security. Destroy me, and you destroy yourself. Dr. Woodard, what are you doing here?
I think the more pertinent question, Dr. Hoffman, is what are you doing here?
Continuing my research.
Woodard le dice que él fue a verla a la mansión, pero Elizabeth Stoddard le informó que se encontraba en la casa vieja. Ahora le gustaría saber qué tiene que ver su investigación con ese lugar.
What I'm doing is important, that's all I can tell you.
Well, to justify your being here while your patient's 100 miles away, it better be pretty important.
I assure you it is.
Pero Woodard está cansado de escuchar siempre lo mismo. Excusas, palabras evasivas y acciones poco éticas. A menos que ella pueda darle una explicación, no tendrá más remedio que retirar a Maggie de la clínica.
Can't do that. That would be the most dangerous thing in the world to do.
Dangerous to whom?
I can't tell you that.
Well, I'm not leaving here until you do tell me.
Julia insiste en que su trabajo, del cual se niega a hablar, es lo único que puede ayudar a Maggie. Sacarla de la clínica significa ponerla en riesgo y retroceder en los avances que se han hecho. El caso de Maggie tiene que ser tratado con delicadeza.
I know that as well as you do. A girl who's been kidnapped, a girl who's been frightened into a fantasy world, has to be drawn back into the real world slowly, carefully. Now, that takes a lot of effort and a lot of time. But it also takes a doctor who's with her constantly and not 100 miles away from her.
Got to let me handle this my way.
Well, what am I supposed to do with her father and her fiancé when they happen to wonder what you're doing here at Collinwood while she's up in your sanitarium?
We'll worry about that when it happens.
It's already happened. They got after me in the middle of last night, demanding answers to what's going on, and I couldn't give them any answers. Apparently, you can't give them either.
Si algo nos ha demostrado Julia, es que siempre ha buscado con astucia la forma de escapar de ciertas situaciones. Y cuando los argumentos con su colega ya no funcionan, tiene que recurrir a una nueva estrategia: decir la verdad, aunque sea a medias.
I believe that Maggie Evans came face to face with the supernatural, and in a way that frightened her beyond anything you or I can understand. I can't exorcise that fear in the usual manner. I can't convince her that what terrified her doesn't exist, because I know it does exist.
Are you a scientist telling me that the supernatural exists?
I have evidence that I've been working on. If I'm right, medicine is about to break through the ultimate barrier between life and death. You realize that the doctors who helped make that breakthrough will go down in history.
Between life and death?
Dave, when you were in medical school, didn't you dream of making some major contribution?
Yeah.
Well, that could happen now, for both of us.
Julie, I've got to know a great deal more than I know now.
Oh, you will. I'll tell you, because I need your skill and knowledge to help see me through.
Well, I'll help you any way that I can.
Listo. Julia Hoffman ya ha convencido a su amigo y colega. Por lo pronto, ella necesita que calme a Sam y a Joe, que les asegure que se está cuidando adecuadamente a Maggie para que pueda recibir el mejor tratamiento posible, mientras ella continuará su investigación en Collinwood.
Are you telling me that there's something at Collinwood that relates to Maggie and what happened to her?
Yes.
Well, what is it?
I can't tell you, Dave. I can't tell you for your own sake. I don't want to put you in any danger.
Danger? Danger? What danger?
Julia insiste en que el mundo que conoció Maggie Evans es terrible y no lo quiere a él ni a nadie cerca, hasta que pueda idear alguna forma de protección. Para Goddard, si no fuera por el gran concepto que tiene de ella como profesional, esa creencia por lo sobrenatural en lo que ahora parece creer no serían más que tonterías. El pequeño David se sorprende al encontrar a Sarah llorando en medio del bosque. Ella le cuenta que su amiga Maggie está perdida desde hace algún tiempo y que ella la extraña mucho. David deduce de inmediato que la niña se refiere a Maggie Evans y le aclara que en realidad no está perdida, sino que murió.
What are you laughing about? She isn't dead at all. She's just lost. Sarah, of course she's dead. My father told me, and so did my aunt, and Vicky, and everybody else. Well, everyone's wrong. She's gone away somewhere, but I don't know just where. Sometimes I almost know where she is. Then it all fades away, and I begin to cry again.
David trata de convencer a Sarah de que lo acompañe de regreso a Collinwood, pero ella no cree que sea una buena idea.
Well, my family won't mind. He'll be very glad to have you. I don't think I should. Maybe sometime, but not now. You better go now. It's getting late. You're coming with me to my house. Because if I leave you here, you'll get sad because Maggie's dead. She isn't dead. She's just lost. Everyone else says she's dead. Well, everyone else is wrong. How can you be so sure? You know about leaves and everything. Well, I know who's dead and who isn't.
En la gran mansión, Burke y Julia tienen una conversación algo tensa, ya que él parece desconfiar de las verdaderas intenciones de ella.
Why are you investigating all these families? What is it you're looking for?
Mr. Devlin, my research is quite specialized. I'm not sure I could explain it to an outsider.
Oh, but I'm not an outsider. I grew up in Collinsport.
My research will prove that the Collins family and other families go back even farther than most people think.
Well, so what? Why is that so important?
Mr. Devlin, if you don't think it's important, then you don't. And that's the end of it.
I'm sorry, Miss Hoffman. I didn't mean to be rude, but as I said, I grew up in Collinsport. And I've seen dozens of people poking around old papers and deeds and wills and books. And I never thought anything of it. But you, there's something about you. I mean, you just really aren't the type. And I'd like to know just what it is you're looking for. Just why it is you're here.
Very well, then I'll make a full confession. I heard that an old sea captain left a trunk of jewels in the basement. And I'm going to get them. Is that what you want to hear?
Not exactly. Try again.
Mrs. Goddard, Carolyn. Oh, Burke, I'm so glad you're here. Hello, Miss Hoffman.
Victoria ha entrado como un torbellino, visiblemente emocionada por el descubrimiento que ha hecho. Prácticamente proclama que se ha enamorado de una vieja casa junto al mar.
I must have passed it hundreds of times, only this is the first time I'd ever really noticed it. Burke, it's like it was just waiting there, just for me.
Los tres se retiran al salón, mientras Victoria les describe la casa de sus sueños.
Now you wait right here, and I'll go tell Vicky that I brought another friend. I don't think I should. Look, Sarah, you'll see. They'll be very happy to have you stay for dinner.
David? Is that you?
Yes. I brought a friend. Can she stay for dinner?
Sure.
Who?
Tara ha desaparecido. David la busca afuera, pero no hay rastros de ella.
Well, it looks to me like she went home. Do you know where she lives?
No. I meant to ask her that, but she was crying too much.
What was she crying about, David?
Maggie Evans.
She was a friend of Maggie?
Well, Sarah kept telling me she is a friend of Maggie's.
She must know that Maggie's dead.
Yes, but I kept telling her that, and she said that she wasn't. She said that she'd just gone away someplace.
Oh, the child was probably just talking nonsense. Doesn't he have anyone else to play with?
I like playing with Sarah.
Victoria se pregunta si Sarah solo existe en la imaginación de David. Es común que cuando un niño se siente muy solo, finja que hay alguien acompañándolo. Burke también le pregunta si la niña es un invento, y David les asegura que es real y que en verdad estaba llorando, y por eso la invitó a la casa para tratar de animarla.
Maybe you'll find her tomorrow and she'll play with you then.
Oh, you don't know anything.
It's amazing how real imaginary friends can be to children.
If you don't mind an unsolicited opinion, I wouldn't encourage it in David.
What?
Oh, I don't think David should be encouraged to dwell in fantasy. I think it'd be harmful for him.
Is child psychology another of your specialties, Miss Hoffman?
Of course not. But children shouldn't be encouraged to believe their own fantasies, like this business of a dead girl being alive.
Well, in the first place, I think David will get over that. And then, too, I don't think there's any danger of people believing that there's a Sarah, or that Maggie is still living.
Well, I think that we should plan a picnic or something to keep David occupied.
Speaking of picnics, I'm hungry. Let's drive out for something to eat.
Oh, no, I don't want to leave David now.
Oh, don't worry. I'll look after him.
Well, thank you. All right, I'll just get my coat. Bert, come here.
What's the matter?
I found this cap on the floor. It's a little girl's bonnet.
Good evening, Willie.
Dr. Hoffman was here today.
Oh, what did she want?
Well, she moved a few things into the room we gave her. Said she'd come back tonight to see you.
Oh, what a pity. I won't be here.
Well, where are you going?
If she drops in, you may tell her that I've gone to Collinwood for the evening.
Why are you going there?
Because I have relatives there, remember?
You mean you're going up there to pay a social visit?
Now, why else would I be going there?
Well, that's what I'd like you to tell me.
Willie, you have the most annoying way of getting things confused. I am not beholden to you. You are beholden to me. And don't forget that.
Willie sigue a su amo arriba e intenta persuadirlo de que no vea a Victoria. Barnabás le hace ver que la señorita Winters es una joven extraordinaria que puede escuchar las voces del pasado. Ella tiene una sensibilidad que pocos tienen y él no quiere privarse del placer de su compañía.
What I mean, don't hurt her.
Willie, you do get to be a bore. No wonder I seek other company.
Willie lo acusa de tener planes reservados para la institutriz, pero Barnabás le asegura que no tiene una agenda siniestra y tampoco deseo alguno de dañarla. En realidad, él solo espera conquistarla de la forma clásica y que ella se enamore de él por su propia voluntad.
Now, shall we let it go at that?
And what if I don't believe you?
You have no choice but to believe me. You know, I really don't understand this mood you're in, Willie. If anything, I should think you'd be filled with joy this evening.
Why?
Because Maggie Evans is alive. I must admit that the thought of it doesn't fill me with much joy.
What happens if Dr. Hoffman can't keep her from telling everything she knows?
All we can do is hope that he has the situation completely under control.
I think it's risky giving her a room downstairs.
A Willie le preocupa que se permita a la doctora Hoffman realizar sus experimentos en la casa vieja. Aunque Barnabás admite que debe cooperar con Julia, igual le ordena a su sirviente que la vigile cuidadosamente.
You know, how very amusing it is.
What?
Your concern for Miss Winters and your total indifference to whatever plans I may have for Dr. Hoffman.
I told you, leave Vicky alone.
And I told you that no harm will come to her. So don't concern yourself about her. Don't even think about her. Now I must be going. It's strange, isn't it? How people cling to life. How they seem to consider it so much better to grow old, ugly, and humiliated than to...
To what?
And to remain young and beautiful forever, untouched by time. Untouched by anything.
Except loneliness.
En Collinwood, Victoria y Burke están planeando una visita a la casa frente al mar, cuando justo llega una visita.
Barnabas, how nice to see you.
I was hoping you would think so, Miss Winters. Have you just arrived, Devlin?
As a matter of fact, I was just leaving. We were just leaving.
But we didn't say anything definitely.
Vicky has found a house up on the old North Road and she wants me to look at it.
Victoria comienza a hablarle de Sibiu y lo fascinada que está con la casa frente al mar, lo cual también despierta el interés de Barnabás por verla.
You know, I would really very much like to see this house of yours.
Oh, it'll never be mine.
Oh, be that as it may, I would like to see it very much.
Well, then you're more than welcome to join us. Isn't he, Burke?
Oh, yeah. Sure, there's nothing I'd like better than the three of us to look at the house by moonlight.
Well, I'll go up and get changed and look in on David.
Well, now you hurry.
I'm very anxious to see the house.
So am I. But I must say that when Vicky and I decided to drive out there today, we didn't expect it to take on the aspects of a guided tour.
I do love the old houses around here. You don't, do you?
No, not usually. I wish Vicky would hurry.
Your impatience surprises me, Mr. Devlin. A man should be willing to wait for a beautiful woman through all eternity, if necessary.
She's had more than enough time to change into a warm dress.
I suppose that's the difference between modern men and...
And what?
And the kind of men that once lived in these parts. They had a romanticism, a respect for their women that modern men could never feel.
Los dos hombres comienzan a involucrarse en un combate verbal.
I would have thought that a man like you, one who has traveled as much as you have...
What makes you think I've traveled?
I merely assume that you have. You're not the sort of person that one usually finds around here. You seem so much more complex. Your tastes are so much more developed. Your viewpoints are different. You have traveled, haven't you?
Yes. Yes, I have traveled. Why do you ask? It's really none of your concern.
Well, not of my concern, of course, but it is interesting to me.
Barnabás apunta al hecho de que Burke creció allí y más adelante se abrió camino en el mundo. Sin embargo, nadie parece saber a dónde fue o qué cosas hizo durante todos esos años que estuvo lejos de Collinsburg, ganando su fortuna y alcanzando la posición que ahora tiene.
That's how I like it. And that's how I intend to keep it.
They say that a dead man's eyes see everything he's looked at in life. I'd like very much to see through your eyes, Mr. Devlin, and see what it is that you've looked at. I have a feeling that it would be very informative.
Burke contraataca.
What about your eyes, Mr. Collins?
Why do you question that?
Well, because nobody knows very much about you either.
But that's absurd. After all, I am Barnabas Collins. And the Collins family has been in Collinsport from the beginning. Everyone knows all there is to know about them.
Oh, but I wasn't talking about the Collins family. I was talking about you. It seems strange that you should be so involved with the Collins family.
Why?
Well, because you didn't grow up with them. You didn't even meet them until a short time ago.
But I've always been very fascinated by the family history. I've read a good deal of it.
You had a family history back in England?
Why, yes, of course.
What part of England, Mr. Collins?
Do you know England personally, Mr. Devlin? Have you traveled there? Is that one of the places that will be engraved on your eyes when you're dead?
You know, it's interesting. You must not have known any people there. You never speak of friends in England.
I do not mention friends in England because the simple reason is I have no friends in England.
Oh, I see. You spent the greater part of your life there, but you never met one single living soul, is that it?
Of course not.
Oh, you did meet people, but you don't remember one single name.
Please, Mr. Devlin, I lived with my cousin on the outskirts of London. I chose to live a very solitary life, and that's precisely what I did.
I trust you remember your cousin's name.
Yes, of course.
What was it? What was his name?
Oh, Bradford. Niall Bradford.
Well, good. I was beginning to believe that your whole past had become a total and perhaps convenient blank.
You mean like yours, Mr. Devlin?
Yes. Yes, like mine.
I'm all ready.
Good. Let's go.
You look lovely, my dear. And I might add, well worth waiting for.
En el sanatorio Wycliffe, Maggie Evans mira por la ventana de su habitación, anhelando volver a casa.
Somebody. Only there were just anybody to help me. I just want to go home. Somebody. I just need somebody. I want to go home.
Maggie?
Who is it?
It's me, Sarah.
Oh, Sarah.
It's your very best friend.
You're really here.
Of course I am. I'm sorry I took so long, but I didn't know where to find you. I just kept looking. I just kept listening so very hard, and I began to hear you, and I found you at last, and I'll help you go home.
Sarah. Oh.
I was lonely without you, even though I made another friend. His name was David.
David?
Yes. He was a very strange boy, though. He said you were dead, but I knew you weren't, and I was right. And you were just lost.
I'm not even sure I want to go home.
Of course you do. You said you did.
Those bars keep me locked in, but they also keep other things locked out. Things that I'm afraid of.
I told you, don't be frightened. I'll take care of you, and I'll show you how to go home.
All right, Sarah. Right.
Oh, wait a minute. Come on. Now call the nurse. Go ahead, call her.
Miss Jackson?
Louder, come on, louder.
Miss Jackson? Miss Jackson? Miss Jackson? Miss Jackson?
London Bridge is falling.
La enfermera, sorprendida por la presencia de la niña, entra preguntando quién es ella y dónde está Maggie Evans, quien aprovecha su oportunidad de escapar.
Maggie! 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 Oh, you helped her escape.
Mientras tanto, Victoria, Burke y Barnabás visitan la casa junto al mar, de la que ella se ha enamorado.
If you hadn't thought to bring these candles, we wouldn't have been able to see anything. The whole trip would have been a waste.
El ambiente inspira a Barnabás, quien comienza a hablar sobre la belleza del lugar, con sus habitaciones bañadas por la luz de la luna y de las velas.
Oh, and here's the famous view of the sea.
Vicky manifiesta su interés por saber sobre las personas que construyeron y vivieron en la casa y le pide a Burke que la acompañe al ático para ver si pueden averiguar algo más sobre esa gente. Burke tiene reservas de ir, dada la hora, y Barnabás se ofrece a explorar los pisos de arriba.
I'm more accustomed to candlelight than most people. Well, I suggest that I go up and see what I can find. I'm not so dependent on the sort of artificial light that most people need in order to see. Perhaps I'll find you something from the past.
Would you? Oh, thank you.
It is my pleasure.
Hey, let's forget about presents from the past, shall we? And think about the future of this house? I have a feeling it could be a very rosy future, if we'll let it.
Mientras tanto, Sarah va escoltando a Maggie a través del bosque, pero ella siente miedo de estar afuera de nuevo. La niña la tranquiliza.
You know, Sarah, there's something that I don't understand.
What is it?
Well, in the hospital room, there were bars on the windows and the door was locked. Now, how did you get in?
Do you really want to know?
Yes, I do.
The same way I got out.
All right. But when I left the room, I locked you in with the nurse. Now, how did you get out?
Same way I got in.
Oh, Sarah. You know, you're a funny little girl.
I never heard you laugh before. You should do it all the time. You have a nice laugh.
Sarah, thank you. Thank you for helping me get home.
Why don't we sing as we walk down the road? It might make the time go faster.
All right.
Come on.
Okay.
London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling down, my fair lady.
Después de un tiempo de estar allí, Bert sugiere que es mejor irse. Victoria cree que aún es pronto, pero él le hace ver que ya ha pasado una hora. Entonces ella decide llamar a Barnabás.
Barnabas? Barnabas?
I told him it wasn't a very good idea to go upstairs. He probably locked himself in a secret room.
Oh, do you think there really are secret rooms up there?
I don't care. I just wish he'd get back here.
I thought you said you liked this house.
Well, I do like it. As a potential place to live in someday. I don't like it at the moment. Ooh, you were right. The chilliest house I've ever been in.
I think Barnabas likes this house more than you do.
Well, the trouble is he likes all the wrong things about it. The darkness and the shadows, the chill. I bet he's just crazy about the chill.
Oh, don't get so annoyed.
I'm not annoyed. I just want to get out of here, and I resent having to wait for him to go.
I think this house makes you nervous.
It does not make me nervous. I feel fine about it.
Burke sugiere irse y dejar solo a Barnabás para que encuentre su propio camino de regreso a Collinwood.
We couldn't do that.
Why not?
Burke, that would be a terrible thing to do. Here he comes.
I'm terribly sorry to keep you waiting, but the upstairs is every bit as attractive as the main floor. I wish you could have seen it with me.
Well, perhaps I can see it tomorrow. Burke is very anxious to get back.
Ah, yes. Mr. Devlin is a man who has very little patience with the past.
Come on, let's get out of here.
Oh, Vicky, I have a present for you.
Present? What is it?
It's a lady's handkerchief embroidered by hand
Where did you find it?
in a little isolated room upstairs.
It's got a monogram. F. Nick A. C. Beautifully done. I wonder who it belonged to. Thank you, Barnabas. But do you think it was all right to take it?
Of course I do. Whoever it was, or wherever she might be, I'm sure she'd want you to have it.
Burke, Victoria y Barnabás se detienen en la Ballena Azul para refrescarse un poco. Mientras Barnabás va a ordenar las bebidas al bar, Victoria y Burke conversan sobre Sibiu y el pasado.
Thank you for coming there with me.
My pleasure.
You know, seeing you walking around there and tapping on beams and checking for loose floorboards. It made the house seem very comfortable and very safe.
Well, the house could be very comfortable and safe.
You don't think it's too isolated, too far away from the outside world?
Well, if it were mine, anything I wanted would be on the inside. And besides, in this day of jet travel, you could be in Collinsport in no time at all. And I'm going to do everything I can to make the future absolutely enthralling for you. Not a moment to spare for the past.
Oh, yes.
What?
One moment. To wonder who F. McA.C. was and what happened in her life.
Okay, the moment's up. Now onward and upward.
Vicky, may I say again, you're a young woman with extraordinary taste. I found the house absolutely enchanting.
Shall I tell you a secret?
Well, what is it?
That is the only house I've ever been in that I think I could be quite happy in for the rest of my life.
Well, now, maybe we can do something about that. Let's drink to it, shall we? What is it?
It's Maggie Evans. It's Maggie Evans. No.